right. Cool. Okay, so my name's Jim, you guys probably know.
Jimmy, probably no. Okay.
Just for a little bit of background, my undergrad was in architectural and environmental design, and then I went on to the Academy of Art University in San Francisco, where I got a Master's of Fine Art in Computer Art and Animation, Video Games, and so forth. So I have a general background in a lot of things that you guys are doing, and I've touched base on a lot of green screening, filming, sound, but I really went in to focus on the 3D art, the modeling, the animation and stuff. And so what Tim's invited me, I was just kind of sharing. I met with Elizabeth and Ivar and the Mirans about 4 months ago, and it was really cool because they wanted just some help on the God With Us play, and they wanted to update some of the backgrounds and add some 3D elements. But what was really awesome about it is, you know how busy Elizabeth is, and she's just always running around. So we meet over at this restaurant, and she, instead of like starting to talk about business, she was like, "Tell me about your Jesus," you know. So it was so awesome because we sat there and talked about, you know, Jesus in our lives and testimonies and stuff like that for like an hour. And she goes, "Oh," and you know, after we were kind of done, we're like, "Okay, we need to talk business." But to make a long story short, it's been, ever since I've been coming to school here, it's been in my heart to get 3D animations and kids' stories onto the tablets. You know, bring the Bible onto the tablet. We know, obviously, we can't get the tablets out of the kids, and so let's get Jesus into the tablets. So it's really, you know, something that I know that God's shown me that I'm really excited about. So when I started telling my background with Elizabeth, she just like started tearing up because it's like she has such a passion for kids' art and animation and media and exactly what you guys are doing and bringing that to the tablets, bringing it to the screen, bringing it to TBN, you know, stuff like that. So we just been working together on just kind of how to proceed. Now all of a sudden this God With Us project came up, which I'm going to talk about. That's the purpose I'm here. And some of the technical difficulties they ran across when they did some of the filming and the stage filming. And so, but I think there's a deeper picture. When I started sharing this with Tim, he was like, "Wow, you gotta really share my class." So this is like, it's a fire, it's a passion, it's like a dream that we really want other people to be involved in. So it goes further than this play. They're just so excited to get this finished and get out in the market because she's already wrote 2 scripts and plays for the projects that are coming up next. So one of the things I want to show, I set one of these books here, but this is manga Messiah, and it's next manga. So I'm not making any, can't like make any promises. She doesn't even know I'm really sharing this, but anyway, she will now. So like I said, I don't make any promises, but let's get our hopes up because I think we all pray into this. I don't know I can't repeat the whole story. She was basically set up in these divine appointments where the guy that owns these, the guy that wrote all these, and owns the characters and stuff, has been approached by Hollywood several times to sell and to make animations, to make TV shows and stuff, and he's turned them down because he hasn't felt inspired by God. And there are, I think, 20 million, don't quote me on that, but there's about 20 million of these copies out. There's 5 different books, and they're in hard format, and you can also get a digital one. So anyway, so Elizabeth is meeting a guy who knows this guy, and they just start talking about it, and the guy just kind of asks her, "Hey, God's telling me you might be interested in acquiring the rights to these characters." So again, that's what she's been praying for. So anyway, so basically what they're doing out right now in Norway is they're making meetings and appointments with investors and people to acquire these characters. And what they want to do with them immediately is they want to tell stories, like the passion stories, like I can't remember the girl's name where she was dying and that was in the skit. Anyway, she's dying, and she kept asking her mom, and her mom kept asking her dad to go to Jesus, and he kept saying no. Anyway, so Elizabeth's heart is to tell that story from the child's perspective, you know, and tell like what was happening in the family, how they were trying to reach Jesus, and really like tell the Bible story from a different perspective. Have you guys ever read Ender's Game or seen the movie Ender's Game?
Yes.
Okay, that's like the #1 sci-fi thing of all time. And then there was another book that was called Bean's perspective or something. It was Ender's Game told from his #1 assistant's perspective. And when you read that, it's the same story but from a different perspective. So Elizabeth has just such an awesome idea, and to take some of these stories and the Bible characters and tell their story, like tell the story of David when he was, you know, growing up and stuff like that. And so just to tell these Bible stories anyway. So this is going to be something that's it's going to take off. She has an aspiration to take these and turn these into animations for television. And Christian, the TBN and stuff like that, and then also to take some of these stories and to make games on the tablets or on the computers for the kids, and maybe make little quests like the Quest of David, or just different quests so we can get the TV. Yeah. So you know, David, you know, instead of David coming out and fighting Goliath, well, he had to kill a lion and a bear, right? So if you come out and just fight Goliath, he kills you. You know, you have to do it the scriptural way, and basically telling the stories for kids so that they can really like get into David's shoes, and like the Bible stories come alive through these interactive media and games. So there's more. I mean, the things that God is doing through them are just amazing, and I'm just like totally on fire. We actually, well, I can tell a little bit about it later, but we got a studio space down at Joyland just as of like a week ago. I just moved in desks over there, so we've got 1,500 square feet of studio space like that. That we're moving desks in. We're looking at investing in some more computer stuff. So anyway, there's just, it's exploding what they're doing, and we're gonna need help. We're gonna need media artists and like all types of fashions and 3D modeling and After Effects and shooting, you know, photography, green screen. I mean everything. So what's so exciting is that I solidly believe by next summer, a year from now, right now, we'll be down there as a functioning studio, and we'll probably have, you know, 12 people working, getting paid positions, working on things. As soon as in like a year. So it's really exciting. So that this class is actually going to have a pool to go to, you know. And so I guess one of the things, you know, we're talking about is a lot of times you get out of school, you know just enough about everything, you know, to know what you kind of want to learn is not the right word, but become efficient at, become an expert at, right? So we can come down there, and basically what happens in studios is you get an apprentice, you know, become an apprentice or a, what's the word I'm looking for? Intern. And you can come in and do an intern for 3 months where you actually learn more of that stuff and you're working on professional projects. Well, that's something that we're definitely going to do. And then also, once you get an intern, there has to be a paid position, right, to do an intern. So anyway, so here's what's going on with the God With Us play. This is basically what I did is I created 2 videos. I got the third one done but not posted for YouTube. And so what happened is that when they shot all the live footage, this is a capture from the live footage, the screen in the background that's rear projected, right? Mm-hmm. The screen in the background looks great during the live footage, and for whatever reason, I wasn't really there. Not that I would have. Anyway, the studio. This is when they shot it in the studio, and you can see the screen in the background is totally, you know, it's grayed out. So we've lost all the color tones, and this spot it's not actually terrible, but compared to whoops, and I have the other one, but where am I looking here? Anyway, just so you can see a comparison. So basically what we're doing is we have the desert movie, right, that's playing on the video in the background. What we're doing is we're taking After Effects out, and we have to key out or rotoscope around all of these characters. Around all of these characters for every scene, and basically cut them out, and then we're replacing the screen in the background with a mat, like a green screen mat that you guys are probably familiar with. And then once that's popped out, then we can put the movie back in, and then we're using Mocha to track the camera positions to follow that movie. So it's fairly technical, but actually it's not as hard as it sounds. It just takes a lot of time. I calculated out the amount of time that we need, and it's somewhere around 350 to 400 people hours to rotoscope. So I've put up these, notice I haven't asked anybody for any help yet. I have to like sell them. So anyway, so I've made these videos, and I go through, now After Effects, I go through like how to set up. This is basically the 4 files that we have. And that's another reason I'm recording this, because if you guys know anybody that knows After Effects or anybody that can help, we really need the help. And this would be an awesome foot in the door to like work on these other projects. So anyway, so if you know anybody that knows After Effects, and even enough, if you guys have done it in the last year, right, in the 3rd year?
A little.
Yep. Okay, so even if it was 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you know where this stuff is. The new tool that they have, sorry, I know, you just can't learn that much in 3 weeks. I mean, you know enough to know that you want to know. It's like the Bible, man. I've been reading it for 3 years, and I'm like, whoa. Once you figure out most of it, then they update the software, and you're like, oh, wow, now it does this. Seriously, like rotoscoping, last time I worked on a rotoscoping project.
They need a nitro camera.
Yes, I saw that. Chris sent me that.
Right?
Last time I worked on a rotoscoping project, let me see if I can get this. You literally had to take your pen tool and go around and go dot, 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 every one of those, and then about 10 frames forward, dot, dot, move all the dots around that. Well, they have the rotobrush. They have the rotobrush tool now, which all you're gonna do is you're gonna go in here and you're gonna use a basic. Oh, there we go. Sweet. Nice. So you're gonna use a basic coffee. You're gonna use a basic brush and just come in here and paint this really basically. You're gonna paint out the screen that you want, like that. Okay, and then when you click, then After Effects is gonna guess what it thinks you want. And with a screen like this, it's gonna get about 80% of it, and right here it's probably gonna get confused because of the contrast of the pixels.
Right.
So it's gonna get confused. So you're just gonna go in and basically manual align that. You basically select the brush and say, I want this, and then you hold Alt, say, don't want this, I want this, I don't want this, until it figures it out. So what After Effects is doing is it's actually using the pixels in between there to decide what it wants and what it doesn't want.
Right.
It's kind of like a rotoscoping lesson. So
Good, it's good.
yeah, so one of the things that we're doing, we shot all this with 4K footage. Some of these things are like above my knowledge, so I just insert 4K footage, so I don't really know what that is, otherwise it's high resolution footage. And so you need to have a 4K monitor in order to get all those pixels, in order to draw those lines in. So we realize that's one of the things setting back and people helping us. So we've got 2 Macintosh computers, I'm setting up a 3rd machine, and we have my machine, so we have 4 machines right now. They're actually in a meeting probably right now, yeah, because in Norway it's like 3 in the afternoon, about getting some more funds for a couple more machines and stuff like that. So, so basically, you can do it without the 4K monitor, but you really want to use the 4K monitor. So in this video, I think this one is like setting up. Yeah, so I'm just saying, don't worry about it. I'm going to set up the video in the background. This whole video is just really setting up. So let me see if I have a next. Spotlight video sounds weird. I don't. Let me go to my channel here. You do? No, not that. Where do I want to go here? I want to go back. Sorry. Here. And Desert sample rotoscope. Shoot, I'm not seeing it. I might upload it on a different one. Where was this one? This is online, right? Here it is. No. Sorry. I thought I had it, but I was like, oh, I'll just use YouTube. It basically just all the only thing I was going to show you is that it just shows. This is my channel. I don't even see this video. Do you guys see it?
Video manager.
Video manager.
Up at the top, right.
Okay.
To the right, to the right.
On my other right.
No, up above the black banner. Yeah, there you go.
All right. There we go. Thanks. Okay. Yeah. So it's this 32-minute one. I want to record myself. Wipe once.
You're dragging your voice.
Okay, so this is cool. All right, so this video I'm setting up After Effects, and we've got a composite window and then a layer window. So you're going to add the rotoscoping onto a layer window, and obviously I'm not going to be able to like teach everything in this 30-minute video, but so here basically here I'll just hit play on this. Mute it. There we go. So yeah, so here's just a tool in action, and we'll just see what we get from this one. I don't want to take our class time to do this, but I'm willing to bet that like in those it's gonna miss like right in here.
Yeah.
So you gotta let it think for a second. It's gonna come up with a pink line. Can you see it? I don't see a pink line, do you?
No.
Did you have to connect?
It's still thinking.
Oh, it is. There it is. You can barely see it. It comes right up through this guy. There we go. So then you can turn on the mat basically, and you can go back through and see what it's caught. It actually got this pretty good. But now what I'll do is I turn that on and off so I can get a really good view. And I go through how to set up. There's different ways, and it's just your preference. If you want the red screen on top, you can actually roto on top of that. Or you can roto right on footage with the pink line. That's the way I was doing it right here. So then I'll just hold Alt right here, and I'll go back through and I'll just tell After Effects, say, hey, grab all this.
Okay, so it's like.
See how it did, I'm going to zoom in to get my pixel count.
It captured all the darker, the contrast, but then you kind of have